Right here at the Ingle Gym with British and WBC silver middleweight champion Liam Williams. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm good. Just enjoying, taking over and working away towards the next date.
Before your last fight, you told us, but if you won, which wasn't really in doubt, but you were going off to Ibiza. Now, did you come back a cruiserweight?
No, to be honest, I didn't. I wasn't too bad, Shut up. I wasn't too bad. My last couple of fights during my time off, I've looked after myself a lot better, to be honest, and I think that's just a case of me just enjoying boxing again and enjoying. Yeah, I don't know really. It's just I'm looking after myself better, and maybe it's an age thing as well, where I'm just getting a little bit more wiser, and I don't want to keep putting my body and putting myself through that all the time. So yeah, it's one of them where I'm just enjoying it and just living the life a lot better.
Importantly, did you manage to hold your own amongst all the youngsters over there?
To be honest with you, I was like kind of mid-age. I went with a range of different ages, so but no, the answer is I didn't really hold my own. Older and the younger, they were all better than me. So I was meant to go for a week, and I actually only done 5 days, and I thought, this is enough for me. I need to go back home and get my life back on track.
Next time you'll have to take your boy Willie Hutchison with you. He'll keep you going.
Do you know what? I was quite poor, but I think Willie'd be even worse. He'd be crying out for his mum within days.
Right, we're going to go talk about your last fight. I mean, it was Karim Achour. Now, he wasn't at the press conference, and I remember the day of the press conference we asked you, were you going to get angry with him? And you sort of said, no, I don't think he'll say anything. Now, you managed to fall out with him just by the fact he turned up at the weigh-in. So, what was going on there?
To be honest with you, I wanted to fall out with him because, I could have quite easily controlled myself, but I wanted to fall out with him because I thought this is just boring. I want a bit of fire in my belly. I wanted to make me nasty so I can bash him up, and so I obviously done the things I done, and he bit me. I think he was a little bit weight drained, and he was on edge anyway, so it didn't take a lot really to get a bite from him. Yeah, but it was good, by him doing that. It just made me want to beat him up even worse than I already wanted to anyway.
He'd never been stopped before, but you soon put an end to that little record.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was coming. I knew that was going to happen. Yeah, because with the progression of my last few fights, I just think I'm getting better, and at middleweight as well, I have so much energy. Like I'm not struggling to make the weight or anything. And I just thought, I was on a good roll, and I had a good feeling I was going to stop him.
You call yourself, you have done for a long time, the machine, but I think people might agree, but perhaps a better term for you at the moment be the animal. The way you're carrying on in the ring. Mullender, you blasted him out of there ruthlessly. This fella, the machine doesn't quite cut it anymore.
No, I know. It's I've had a couple of good, been quite ruthless in my last few fights, and I plan to keep it going that way. I don't know who is in line. They've mentioned a couple of names to me, but talk is cheap. I'm not going to throw too many names around there until something's sealed. But I want a big fight. I want to prove myself now, and I believe I'm at the level where I need them big fights to keep me moving and progressing.
We've had this conversation before off camera, but let's broach this subject on camera. Do you feel in yourself that you fight better and get more out of yourself when you let your emotions go, when you show that bit of anger that you do tend to show?
I think it's a fine line, to be honest with you. I need a good balance, because I need to get a little bit angry, I suppose, to motivate me to want to, do the job and do it in good fashion. But then on the flip side, I need to control them emotions and box to a game plan and do what's told and do what's needed. Whatever Dom tells me to do, I need to listen to instructions and stick to that game plan.
Being angry and emotional doesn't mean that you can't listen at the same time, I guess.
No, you see with my previous 3 fights maybe that I've been, I've had that bit of fire, but I've also controlled it as well and stuck to the game plan. And I think that's what Dom is doing for me at the moment. He's keeping me under control, and as long as I stick to what Dom tells me, I have 100% belief that I'll get the job done because he's a master, he's a scientist, and he's definitely bringing the best out of me of recent.
Take you back a little bit, and you probably won't want to reflect on it too much, but when I think back to the Liam Smith fights, particularly the first one, if you had your time again, is there any way that you would have just sat there and let him peck at your head verbally the way he did in the build-up to those fights without you responding or letting those emotions come into it?
No, I don't think so. Back then, I thought maybe that was the way to just let him crack on, leave him. He does his thing, I do mine. But I would have played a couple of things differently for sure. But as you said, we going back into the past now and old territory. I don't need to go back there now. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to fight him again. I'd love to avenge that loss, them losses. He's the only man to beat me, so that's something I definitely like to revisit and go back into old territory to get that win. But it's something I don't really need to now.
The fact is, I don't think you'll be giving anyone a free pass again, will you?
No, definitely, for sure. As I said, I'd love to go back there, and I 100% believe in my own ability now, and not that I didn't back then, but I do even more now, and I think I'd come away with a win next time for sure.
When we look at your last 3 fights, there was obviously the very big one against Mark Heffron, which everyone got very excited about. Joe Mullender, probably for different reasons, people were expecting a big tear-up. And then your last one against Karim Atshaw, all 3 very impressive performances. Bearing in mind the level that you've been operating at, were you surprised when the board nominated Andrew Robinson as your mandatory for your British title, bearing in mind that he'd been quite comprehensively beaten by Mark Heffron?
Maybe. Robinson's at a decent level, where, as people say, there is levels in boxing, and I'm a couple of levels above him from my point of view. What other people think of that, I don't know, and I don't really care, because I'm just doing my own thing. And if I had to fight Robinson, then I'd quite happily knock him over, get paid, and move on to the next one. But I do need to keep stepping up now, because what I don't want to do is I don't want to go stale and keep fighting at a certain level where that will happen. So I'm looking to move on, but I'm not just gonna give that British title up without having big fights to move on to.
Thinking of that British title, I mean, you're 1 defence in, you'd need another 2. The people in and around you at British level at the moment, I suppose you've got Jack Cullen, boy from sort of the northwest, Felix Cash and Denzel Bentley from down south. What do you sort of think of the current sort of contenders, if you like?
All decent, but again, like what I said about the levels, I think I'm a level or 2 in front of all of them. I would like to bash Felix Cash. I think he's a good fighter. I won't take that away from him. I sparred quite a few rounds with him, sparring. But yeah, I don't know what to say on that. But I don't want to be too rude to the man. He's a decent enough guy, but I'll bash him. I'll break him up. So I'll leave that there. And if they want to make a fight, then we can make a.
They're probably all hoping that you move back down to light middle. Is that something you're still giving consideration to, or have you now sort of thought middleweight's working well for me?
Yeah, middleweight is working well for me at the moment, but I actually texted the manager in the week and said, look, if there's a good enough fight there, get it for me. I'd like to move back down because it gives me a bit more focus and a bit more pain through my training, and you know, it allows me to do nothing else other than focus on my training and making that weight. Whereas now I got a little bit of free play, you know.
Would going through the levels be a bit more easier at light middle when you look at the landscape?
Yeah, maybe so, but like that's not the reason I want to do it. I want to do it for my own needs and my own focus and my own dedication. Not that I'm not dedicated now, because I certainly am, but it'll give me that a little bit more edge, you know.
Is the JJ Metcalf fight still there?
Yeah, I don't see why not, but right now, does he have any titles? I don't really think he offers me anything at the moment. It's certainly a fight, and it'd be a fan-friendly fight. But he doesn't offer me enough right now.
Welsh boxing seems to be in a good place, and at least 4 British champions, am I right in saying that?
Yes, there is 4 British champions right now, and it's in a good place. It could be some cracking all Welsh shows, and yes, it's in a good place at the moment. So if these promoters could possibly work together, there could be some very good shows and some big fights to be made within Wales.
One Welshman who's entering into a big fight next week, as it goes. He's fighting Zach Chellier, of course. I'm talking about Cody Davis. How do you see that fight, and what can you tell us about Cody for people who haven't seen so much of him as of yet?
Cody's he's a quality boxer, quality mover, and he's a slick southpaw, so he'll give anybody troubles. He's young, he's fresh, dedicated, he's got it all really, and I just think that obviously he's got a very good trainer in Gavin, who's a good friend of mine as well. And I just think as long as he stays on, you know, the right path, I believe he could potentially do big things, and he's certainly got it in him to become British champion, and you know, with experience comes more.
Have you seen much of Chellier? I mean, he's quite a fearless operator.
To be honest with you, I'm not saying I don't like him, but I'm not his biggest fan. I don't know, he's just got this thing about him where
you're not warming to him.
I can't put my finger on it. That's not to be rude to the lad. He's doing himself well, but I just can't take to him. Do you know what I mean? And I'm sure there's fighters you've probably had that taking to him has been a bit difficult in the past.
Now then, last question. Your next fight, the rumour mill has it, but we could be heading back across the Severn Bridge.
Yeah, there's been chats. Nothing's in place yet. Well, this is saying nothing's confirmed yet, but they've said that they can make that happen. So it's just bringing somebody in, a big fight worth, you know. I'm not going to go to Wales just to fight someone average and get a good win. I'd rather go away and fight someone who's going to take my career to the next level, you know. So we'll see what they come with. I believe this week they're looking to do something for sure.
It would be good to get that going again, because it was only the need for neutral territory for Liam Smith that took you out of Cardiff last time, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. We was on a good little roll. We had a couple of decent fights in Wales, and as you said, it was that neutral ground thing which took us away from there. So hopefully we can go back and get some big fights there now.
Liam Williams, thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Rich. Appreciate it.